Well, today it's a beautiful day. The sun is up, but yesterday was so miserable. It was raining all day, and the temperature, it was freezing. It was +9 Celsius, which I converted to Fahrenheit to about 40 F. Imagine 40 F in August. And my pants, I found this jacket in the back there, right? It's dirty, but it's waterproof because all my clothes were wet, and I didn't expect so much rain. And that covers the top of your body, but then these are pretty thin, right? And so by the end of the day, like this part here, it was all wet, you know. And you don't notice it when you working, but when you sit down, everything wet sticks out, you know, to your body. It was miserable. So because of that, today I'm dressed like this. And I just did my first delivery in the south of Calgary. There was a fire at this store over here, and they're fixing the fire, so they rented a scissor lift, like a small scissor lift. And I asked them where to drop it. They said in the back. I tried to get in the back. It's super narrow, even though I see garbage bins, so garbage trucks go in there somehow. But I called them again. I said, guys, you know, can I just leave it in the front somewhere, because that's where the entrance is. And of course, scissor lift, they're gonna bring it inside anyway. And they said, yeah, just put it somewhere there. So I did them a favor, because I have a tilt and load. I drop it on the sidewalk so that they don't have to look for a ramp, even though there's one like 10 meters away. But I just tilted my bed right on the sidewalk. Had to readjust a couple of times, you know, move back closer because I was still far away. And the bed was right on top of the sidewalk, and because I was afraid it might slide, so I drove the machine to the end before tilting the bed. You know, when it was fully extended, I drove the machine to the very end of the bed and then hooked up a winch, and then I tilted it, because, you know, if it, like, there's windows in there, like of another store. So now I'm on the way to, so I had one delivery, and now I'm doing 2 pickups on the way back. One is, I just called the guy because he needed a notice to get there and bring the machine outside. So one of them is a tracked stump grinder, and the other one is just a regular scissor lift. So so just leaving now to get the stump grinder, and the guy said that he'll be there in 15, and I'm 10 kilometers away, so which is perfect. Well, I found the site. Just waiting for the guy, and I see the first thing I saw was this huge tree, or what's left of it, and that's our machine over there. It's a nice unit, basically like a mini tractor with a thing in the front that can do all this. But I don't see that they were not able to remove it completely, I guess. So I think now the plan is to try some explosives, maybe, because I think that's too small for this. This is a huge tree. So anyway, the guy gonna show up. I'm gonna tilt my bed, just drive it on. With these machines, small machines, the problem is always how to tie them down, because sometimes they don't have enough tie downs. And of course, that's my old life. Now where I work, this would be considered a large excavator. We don't even have these ones. But when I was trucking, right, this was small. This was a mini excavator, which is funny. Like, this is a Cat 308. See, with a thumb, which is convenient, with the extra bucket. All right, let's go wait for the guy. And yesterday I sent my resume. Yeah, I keep sending resumes to people, and a friend suggested yesterday a company that you'll be glad to hear, that looking for heavy haul driver. So I sent them a resume. They have position open for a 9-axle super driver. So not sure what the pay is, and the main office is 2.5 hours away, but normally they allow you to park the truck where you live, right? And actually where I live, there's lots of streets where people can, I see semis parked. There's no signs, you know, that prohibit parking there, so I could definitely park something over there. And also send a resume to a flatbed company. And these guys are local, and what I like is that all their flatbeds are curtain side, you know, so you don't need to tarp. And talk to the guy on the phone, he called me, wanted to see me, so which is promising, you know, like if they don't reply, that means that you are too old, basically, right? But I have the experience. And so talk to the guy on the phone, and he says they do Northwest US only, like they do cross-border, Canada to US, US to Canada, and they all have late model, like 22 or 23 or 24 Western Star trucks. And I checked their website. The trucks look good, but all they do is flatbed. So of course flatbed, it's what do you carry? You carry steel, you know, lumber, coils. It's labor intensive, but I don't know. I remember when I was pulling a flatbed for McKinnon back in 2007, 2010. No, actually I started with a flatbed, then I bought my own step deck, right? But when I was on that 48-foot skateboard, as the slang word in the industry is, I was so thin. I look up now my old videos, like I cannot believe how fit I was, you know, because flatbed is chest high, right? You're constantly climbing up and down, you're tarping. I don't know, but it was interesting. Oh, a pickup truck showed up. I think it's my guy. Trying to find the shutdown. So this is the monster. So that's what it uses to cut the stumps. Not even like a knife or something. You know, you would expect like a knife, but no, it uses these. You know, very interesting. Kind of like what they use to grind pavement, right? Asphalt. So yeah, pretty big machine. And this thing turns with a joystick over there. But to my pleasant surprise, it does have tie downs. There's one ring over here, and there's one in the back, like two eyes on the back. So at least I can tie it down properly. southeast. This is a great place on weekends. There's lots of people here, you know, walking around because there's a bunch of restaurants everywhere, and you're really close to downtown, and you can park here on the but it requires payment. Well, hear this? I've been driving this truck since March, and I finally told the boss, I said, can you please fix this? This window is just falling, it drives me nuts. And so they booked it for service. He says we'll do it at the next
In 400 meters, turn right onto 6th Street Southeast.
we'll do it at the next oil change. And I already saw on the board that the truck is booked for service on September 4th.
At the light, turn right onto 6th Street Southeast.
And so they're gonna try to fix the window. And my other complaint was telescopic mechanism on the steering wheel is getting a bit loose, you know. So yeah, I stopped for fuel
Turn right onto Riverfront Avenue
because I
Southeast.
saw that all of a sudden I was like at a quarter tank, and I was just passing a petrol pass, and we have a corporate card for petrol pass. I mean, it was right there. I would just, you know, otherwise I'd have to drive to like 2 kilometers to the one near us over there. So here I was just passing, stopped by, there was no lineups, no trucks, boom, boom, boom. The only inconvenience is that at this particular location, they don't have satellite bumps, so you have to drag the hose underneath the truck, and it's actually very long. You drag it underneath the truck to the other side. Alright, things are getting tense over here. Look at this guy. Nice parking job.
Turn right onto
Mr.
Riverfront Avenue Southeast.
Some numbered company from Alberta, no name. check this out. Day cab, just a regular 3-axle truck. Has a John Deere excavator, 3-axle RGN. Oh, it's a Mack. Okay. Yeah, so I unloaded my stump grinder, and finally it's plus 18 Celsius, so I was able to take off my super warm shirt. By the way, you see this logo? I showed you guys this shirt before. Globe Trailers. We're at probably 3-4 years ago. I was in Florida, right? And this guy watches my videos and he says, "Hey Sergey, why don't you come over and we'll show you the plant and you can do a video about us." And it was awesome, right? So I did a couple of videos. It was interesting to see how they make these trailers. And like my favorite type of a trailer. And they gave me a bunch of freebies. I think there was a coffee mug as well. There was this shirt. But honestly, it's not super comfortable because it's all artificial, you know. Like, I don't like shirts like this. It's all silk. Feels like silk, you know. And you get very sweaty in this shirt. But now it's still chilly, so I like wearing it when I do taxi work. By the way, speaking about taxi, yesterday we finished early, like 3:45, and I cleaned up the car. And started the app, and like within 5 minutes, yeah, within 5 minutes I had an offer. And once again, you know, all I wanted to do was shut up. All I wanted to do was do something on the way home. And so Uber offers me a ride. It doesn't tell me what it is, just says your passenger is like 2 minutes away. I go pick up this girl, and when I click pick up, passenger picked up, only then the app shows me destination and how many kilometers. And to my horror, I see that the ride takes me all the way south to the very bottom of Calgary, and it's 35 kilometers. Like, holy moly. And so I took her there, and then on the way she was changing her mind every 5 minutes, because she said, "Will they charge me less if you drop me off like 5 minutes from my house?" And I said, "How much did they charge you?" And she says, $40. And so I dropped her off, yeah, like maybe 3 kilometers away from her house. She wanted to go to Shoppers Drug Mart, you know, and with Uber you can discharge the passenger anywhere. You don't have to follow the route. I just clicked dropped off, and the Uber says, "Are you okay? It seems that you did not bring your passenger all the way to the destination. Are you sure that you want to do this, you know, that you showing us that the passenger is done?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I sat there for 30 minutes, had a quick snack, and there was nothing, and I just returned back home, except my home was closer. It was like 30 kilometers. But imagine, so I did 35 one way, 30 back, and Uber paid me gross, of course, $32, which was not bad, you know. It took us probably 35 minutes to do this, 35 kilometers. So $30, $32 in 35 minutes, that's pretty good for a taxi. Except I didn't want to wait there 2 hours for my next ride, since I just worked 9 hours. I wanted to go home.
Watch out. Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
And I started talking about the Flatbed company. What I also liked, so these guys have curtain side, right? So there's no manual tarping, hardly ever. And he says, yeah, sometimes he says once in a blue moon there'll be a load that cannot be hauled on a curtain side trailer, so it has to be topped manually. But he says that happens almost never. Okay. But what? And so they stay in the Northwest U.S. They don't go too far, and they say they bring you back for the weekend. That's the part I really like. So basically, you leave, let's say, Monday morning, and you back Friday night. So they do kind of like a shorter runs, but it's all across the border. And their trucks look nice. And plus, these guys are right here somewhere in Calgary, Whereas this other company is 230 kilometers away, but like I said, they might, if I go with those guys, they might let me keep the truck at night at home, because but I'm pretty sure that these guys, this is a heavy haul company. I'm pretty sure it's worse, because it's going to be probably 2 or 3 weeks on the road, same as what I did when I was trucking. So this time around, I want to get something a bit easier. And I don't know, Flatbed or RGN, what do you guys think? So Western Star with a manual transmission, pulling a curtain side flatbed, or don't know what kind of trucks these guys have, but the heavy haul guys. But I sent them the resume yesterday and attached my wheel loader certificate to show that I'm licensed to operate machinery. But I was checking my email, nothing. No reply, no response. Maybe they think I'm too old for them, because they see from the experience that I'm not 30 years old anymore. It's kind of funny, right? Almost everybody wants experience, but when they see too much experience, they start wondering, okay, wait a second, so this guy was trucking for 17 years. But again, 17 years, some guys started 21, right? So I met guys like that on the road when, they started 20, even like 25. So 25 and 15 is 40, plus 2, 42. So if I started at 25, and I say that I was trucking for 17 years, I could be 42 years old. So they don't know. And actually, I removed, on the resume, I used to show my university in Russia, and I graduated in 1984. And a friend of mine says, it's best you remove that. I said, why? Because, well, people will figure out if you graduated from the university in 84, that you're definitely not 40 years old or even 50 years old, right? But I did go real early. I think I was like 17 and a half when I finished school, because I was born in January, right? So when I finished, I think I was 17 and a half years old, high school. So I think I was like 22 years old. Yeah, 84. So 84, 22. 22, I was a kid. I looked like I was 17, I'm telling you. It took a long time for me to look mature, and girls didn't pay any attention to me because I looked like a teenager, Oh, lots of I see lots of machinery being moved today.
Watch out. Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
And again, here in Alberta, what's really popular is these trailers with the tailgate, with the ramps, because Alberta drivers are lazy. They don't want to disconnect the neck, and so they like loading from the back through the back door. You know, they drop those ramps, and I watched one of these guys climb at like 60-degree angle with a monster 110,000 pound excavator. But of course I'm kidding. They're not lazy. It's just because they probably do local pickups and deliveries, just like what I do. And so it's quicker to load from the back. I don't know. Like for me, at the end there, like I don't know, it took like 2 minutes to disconnect. It takes longer to connect because you have to align everything properly. But to disconnect, it's real easy. You know, you drop the trailer, you start your PTO, drop the suspension, drop the trailer on the ground, put down those arms that support the neck, drive away. Of course, I think there was a lock. Yeah, I think there was a lock. I really don't remember. Was there a lock to? Yeah, I think there was something I had to twist. It was like a safety device. But after that, you just drive away, and your neck is in the air, and that's it. So a fuel guy, huge Peterbilt 3-axle tanker truck, no trailer, just a truck, came to drop some fuel because we have a big tank in our yard, probably like 10,000 liters, I don't know, 3,000 gallons US. And this guy was there for a long time. I was unloading and he was pumping diesel. I think he probably had the diesel and gas as well, because we have actually, yeah, our tank is like 2 parts, one for diesel, one for gas. All right, wow, I'm still 25 kilometers away, so pretty much now I go in my truck to do this pickup. I go to the same area where I took that lady yesterday, except now nobody's paying me $32. And my first pickup is called tracked power buggy. It looks kind of like that stump grinder, except it has like a bucket, you know, like to basically you load some material in there, and that bucket sits on the top. So you load some material, and this buggy then uses the tracks to move, and there's a small engine underneath. And you can also dip, you can lift that bucket and drop the material on the ground. You know, it's pretty neat. I'll show you guys when I pick it up. And the next one is one item I came to hate is extendable ladders. Like we have a bunch of these. The worst one is a 40-foot extendable ladder. It's a nightmare to carry that thing because it's heavy and it's very unruly. And now I'm picking up something that it says 11 to 21 feet, which seems small. But again, it's probably 100, I don't know, 150 pounds, and it's very big. Like the foundation is very wide. All right, there's a construction zone here. Mountains are pretty clear today, clear to see. Because I'm heading south, so that's mountains are in the west, right, towards British Columbia. Now in other news, I got a call from the equity lender, right? So the bank did not like me. The equity lender, of course, they charge a higher interest, but still way better than credit cards and lines of credit. Basically, somewhere in between. The bank would be the cheapest, but the bank doesn't want to finance me. And so I had to borrow some money. I have to borrow some money to fix my car. And pay off some debts. Maybe buy a couple of toys for myself. Just, you know, alternative way of making money. So since I have no accordions left, right? So I'm gonna get an accordion and get proficient enough to do some busking in the summer. No, I'm kidding. I don't think. Actually, I saw on YouTube. I saw, you know, some older guys sitting somewhere in the metro stanция metro. Police reported ahead. Are you sure? Huh. My cruiser set at 100 kilometers an hour. Speed limit is 100. So I bet I'm not gonna interest police. But what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so on YouTube I saw some videos where a guy would play, you know, let's say accordion or guitar or something, and he was not even very good, and people still drop some coins, you know, in the hat or whatever, or the case for the accordion. So you don't have to be very good, I don't think. Most people just appreciate the effort. But of course I'm kidding. But I mean, I don't want to forget everything, because I studied that garmoshka, the Russian one, with 2.5 years, and then I switched to the piano accordion. You know, it's very good for older people to, you know, learn new skills, right? And you know, keep your brain, you know, occupied. So you have to learn. You cannot just drink beer and watch TV. Then you practically, your brain is practically dead. And so this way, you know, you're learning something. It's interesting. So I want to get I haven't decided yet, Honor, German, or which is East Germany, no wait, West Germany, or Weltmeister, which is GDR, Германская Демократическая Республика. Well, before, you know, like when there was 2 Germanys. Okay, where am I? So man, it's pretty much the same. I exit the highway at the same street where yesterday I dropped off that girl. This is really far. And I turn over there in 3 kilometers, and then it's still another 3 kilometers to my destination. And today I'm using Waze. You know, I just change them just to keep things interesting. So I have Waze, I have Apple Maps, and I have Google. They all have their little problems and things I don't like. Like, for example, I just watched I read a story on Google, kind of like Google News, and I did not even realize it, but you know, Waze is owned by Google, right? It's the same company, but they have totally different, you know, algorithm. And turns out that Waze will always try to find a shortest, quickest way possible, like even if it means like this guy, like fuck.
In 1.5 kilometers, use the right lane to take exit 99.
He doesn't want to drive, you know.
Street southeast.
Fucking 50-year-old truck. Lost patience. This guy. Okay, so this is my 52nd Street. pickup truck on the shoulder. Sometimes cops drive pickup trucks that look like regular vehicles, you know?
Exit right to exit 99, 52nd Street Southeast.
Well, the buggy is on. Now I just need to chain it down. No, this is what causes that, you know, racket when I drive. See, like there's something broken. Like the window works, like there's for some reason on this truck I still cannot get used to it, you know. Like usually the buttons are on the door. Right here, this is your left and this is your right. I always try to find it over here, but basically, yeah, this is what rattles. There are probably some of these felt things over there, or some rubber is fell down in the door, so they will have to disassemble the door to get to the window. But yeah, it just drives me nuts. It's so loud, you know, especially when you're on a bad road. Anyway, ask the guy, because I still see they're using regular buggy to move this material, and I said, why are you returning this one? And he says, well, because now they only carry from here to the backyard and it's all down, you know, it's going down. They only use that one when they had to bring something out, you know, going up the hill. So going down, he says, it's no big deal. And so this poor guy, young kid, so he loads that buggy with a shovel, and then he carries it over there. Man, that's hard work, you know, not what I do. What I do is easy. So load, secure, drive. So now I just call the guy. They always tell us to confirm with the pickup or delivery before you show up. I just called the guy where I have to pick up that ladder. Actually, I dropped it off myself the other day, and the guy says, yeah, it's outside, ready to go. I said, okay, sir, I'll be there in 15 minutes, because Waze or whatever, Google Maps shows me, right, my ETA. And so it's always people like that. They expect you, you know. Like this guy also, I called him. I said, I'm coming in half an hour to get up this power buggy. He says, sure, it'll be outside. And when I showed up here, it was parked outside, ready to go. So it didn't take long to get loaded. Okay, heading to the ladder site. 14 minutes, 8.7 kilometers. So just check my email. Nothing from the heavy haul trucking company
In 100 meters.
in response to my resume.
Copperleaf Terrace Southeast. Then
But
turn
saw an
left.
email from an appraiser. What's funny is that, yeah, they approved me for this loan,
Turn
but
right on Copperleaf Terrace Southeast.
as a
Then
condition,
turn left on Copperleaf Lake Southeast.
I have to pay for the appraisal, because they want to confirm market value.
Turn left on Copperleaf Lake Southeast.
So
Then turn right on
Which is
Copperleaf Boulevard Southeast.
kind of like interesting. Don't you make enough money on this deal to pay for the appraiser? Why does the customer have to pay for the appraiser? You know, it's kind of like, imagine you found a repair shop and there's something wrong with your car, right? You found the repair shop and the guy says,
Turn right on Copperfield Boulevard
well,
southeast.
you gotta do
Turn right
diagnostics
on
first.
Copperstone Gate southeast.
Go to this buddy of mine. Go to this buddy of mine. He runs a diagnostic shop, and you have to pay for diagnostics. So it's something similar. Basically, it's a scam, but that's how these guys make money. And then, of course, the what
Turn
you want
right
to call it?
on Copperstone Gate southeast.
The appraiser will pay them, I'm pretty sure, will pay them a referral fee, right? And so they make money on the appraiser
Turn left on
because they
Decatur
referred
Boulevard
me,
southeast.
and they make money, and the appraiser makes money. So yeah, and so Waze, yeah, will take every turn if it can determine that you will save 1 minute, which I really don't like, you know, especially when you drive a big truck. Like, this is not big, but still it's bigger than a regular pickup truck. So
Turn left on Decatur Boulevard southeast.
that was the difference I read about online between Waze and Google. So Google will stick to major roads. It will not try to save you 15 seconds by sending you through all kinds of turns, whereas this thing will do it, you know.
Turn right on 52nd Street southeast.
So Waze is good for cars, not so much for big trucks. And so yeah, the appraiser sent me that's what they told me. They said the appraiser will send you an email, and he sent me like a little agreement, and I signed it, and now they're gonna send me a link for payment, and they're saying that the appraisal will be done within 1 to 2 weeks after they receive 50% deposit. So I'm guessing this guy has some history of people not paying, which I understand perfectly, like, because they charge $350 to $400. Like, I didn't even see what it said there, but that's what the lender told me, that the guy will charge me $350 to $400. So let's say the worst case scenario, $400, and they want 50% up front. So
In 300 meters.
I'm gonna get paid tomorrow, so I'll have the money, no problemo, and hopefully they'll do it fast. But yeah, I have to go back to that email and double check. Because I forgot to check the number, you know, because maybe now it's 500 instead of 350 or 400.
Meters. Stay to the left to Mackenzie Town Boulevard southeast.
So turn after turn with this Waze. That's the monster. It's very heavy. it's 3 o'clock, 11 minutes after 3, and it's all kind of like a blur. That's what happens by this time. Like I've been all over Calgary. I lost count how many deliveries I did, so somehow I ended up here. This is 5th Avenue Southeast, pretty much like upper town, not central Calgary, but like 36th Street is over there. So I just delivered my previous, so I had 3 machines on the deck. I had the first 2, which of course I had to load in the back, were electric barrows, you know, like very neat. Like I'm telling you, like my company, they have all kinds of cool and unusual gadgets. And so this looks like a barrow, you know, the same one that I showed you guys the other guy was using on site, except this one is electric, right? Like the previous one I picked up, right? That one had a gas engine. These I think much cooler because they're quiet. You just turn the key and then you have to hold kind of like looks like a brake, like, you know, like on a bike, you know, you have a brake handle here. So on the left you have to hold this red brake handle, and then on the right handle, kind of like a motorcycle, you have to turn it to for the machine to start moving. And then you just choose, there's 2 switches. One says forward, reverse, you just click which way you want to go, and the other switch is fast and slow. It's also like a 2-position switch. And I hit fast by mistake, and this thing like flies, you know, like I was running after it, and then, but of course as soon as you release your hand, as soon as you release that right handle, it rotates back to the kind of like 0 position, and the machine stops. Like there's no brakes, you just play with this right handle. That's your speed pretty much. And the left one is the kind of like controller. Yeah, if you release that one, the machine will stop as well. So pretty cool. I delivered 2 of those to the hospital on 36th Street. So it looks like some contractors are working in the basement, and they need these. I guess that's why they cannot use gas, because that would create, you know, poisonous atmosphere inside, and it's noisy, and this is a hospital, so they wanted these electric ones. And the third machine, which I loaded first because it was the last delivery, and that's what I just delivered over here, it was a small scissor lift. And now probably my last stop for the day, because it's already 3:14. Yeah, I'm 15 minutes away from my pickup, so I'll be there at 3:30. Perfect. I'll get loaded probably within 10-15 minutes, and then it's 20 minutes back. And officially, if they don't have anything, they let me go at 4 o'clock, or even earlier. Like yesterday, I went home at 3:45. But today the weather's good. I feel okay. I don't feel too tired because I didn't do a single piece of scaffolding today. Unlike the other guy, they sent him with a trailer, pick up something like 30 frames of scaffolding, 5x5, a whole bunch of decks, and he couldn't even get a helper because a couple of guys took days off in the shop, and so the shop was short of staff. So he went by himself. There was like 4 pickups. They gave him 4 sheets of paper, 4 pickups, all scaffolding. Poor guy. Actually, I told him, I said, you want to ask the dispatch, maybe I should go with you, you know? And he goes, ah, no, it's okay. Because he's like a, you know, beefy guy. Well, yeah, I could do it too, but I'm glad it's not me, so screw that scaffolding. Oh, and I'm sitting outside here. What is this? Some kind of a concrete specialist, but it says Unicorn Concrete Specialties. But for some reason, there's a whole bunch of lumber over there, because I see the guy, the forklift is loading lumber on this hotshot guy. By the way, yeah, that's what my friend broker was telling me. Like over here, these guys charge anywhere from 120 to 150 bucks an hour Canadian. So it's basically, it's a diesel truck. Like this guy has a Dodge Ram, probably 3500, dual wheels in the back. and it's a fifth wheel trailer with 2 axles. Each axle has 4 tires, so it's like a heavy duty trailer. Even though it's short, normally they're longer, and that's what it is. And the funny thing is that in Alberta, the word is, for these you don't even need to register. You know, you don't even need to get authority, because they exempt, they're light. And so what these guys do is, let's say they pick up load like this and it goes somewhere, they always charge return trip. Can you believe this? So let's say from here to Edmonton it's 4 hours, they would charge 8 hours, $150. He says some charge 120, some charge 150, but you know, 150, and the truck brand new is $80,000. Don't know how much the trailer is, but I was thinking about that as well, like as a possibility. Yeah, I see the guy's loading over there. Black, no, dark gray Ram 3500. Kind of looks like a muscle car, you know. Very powerful. Look at this guy. In a hurry, aren't we? I just feel like knocking him, you know, like a little bit, just a scratch, you know. No big deal. And then we can load you on the deck and tow you to a car repair place. Actually, that's where I drop off this second scissor lift. Just backed close to the entrance to the shop, and put my bed down. And just unloaded the scissor lift right on the floor, because there was the yard was dirt, covered in, you know, gravel and dirt. And at first they wanted me to drop the. He says, "Yeah, drop the scissor lift anywhere in the yard." And I said, "Guys, this is not gonna work." I said, "I already know that these things, they have sensors, and when it starts, you know, tilting a little bit, it'll stop working. It doesn't like uneven surfaces." Oh, then put it in the shop. Okay.
Do I look like, who do I look like? Can you believe this? Man. So they make people wear this. Well, look at this. Beautiful head. Very shapely, you know. So I'm a... So basically the place where I picked up this scissor lift, it's some kind of a food place. Sorry, I was staring at my own face. It's a food place. Like they prepare food over here inside the warehouse. Kind of like a... what you know, what you can find in at a deli counter in a grocery store, you know, like pre-made food, pre-packaged. And so this, I said, you know, this is my company name. I said there should be our scissor lift, blue one somewhere here. And the guy says, "Oh, it's in the very back there. You have to walk like, you know, like 100 meters to the other side of the warehouse." And he says, "Put this on." Because I see workers preparing food right there. And so he made me, and I wasn't sure how to. I said, "How does it work? Like, why is there a hole like this?" And he says, "Well, one is for your neck and the other one is for your face." So it's like a balaclava, you know. And then at the end they said, "Can I keep it as a souvenir?" The guy says, "Yes." Cool. So you see, so we don't work for free, we get tips.